Welcome, WNBA fans. So, covering the Wings, I'm going to do both games today at a back-to-back. So, their first game was against the Fever, which the Fever went out to a blistering pace. I believe they announced during the game they were shooting like 80% from the floor, and they built a 33-13 lead in the first quarter. So, Dallas had a huge deficit to begin with before they even got started. Yeah, so the first quarter, 33-13, and then Dallas outscored them in the second, so they closed that gap, 30-23, and then they outscored them again in the third. So they started, they got it close, but they just couldn't overcome that huge 20-point deficit. And then Indiana held their own and outscored them in the fourth, 20-17. So, other than the first quarter, this was it was a good game regardless. But the Fever were on a blistering pace in the first half. Just crazy shooting percentage. I mean, it's hard to beat anybody when you shoot like that. Just amazing. So now the Indiana Fever are 8-8, and Dallas is 4-13. Looking at some of the box score here, we had 4 players for Indiana in double figures. Howard had 15, Boston had 21. Kelsey Mitchell was just incredible, 32 points. She was 4 for 6 from 3 and 11 for 17 from the floor. So that's amazing. Kelsey Mitchell, good game, just phenomenal game. Let's see, who else? Howard had 13 rebounds. Boston had 6. And then Ari McDonald, she played well. She's speedy. She's really speedy. She is short, but really speedy. She had 13 points. She was 6 for 9. 6 for 9 from the floor. So good game. Good game, Fever. Lexi Hull was hustling all over the place, and she was guarding Paige a lot of times, and just great game. After that first quarter when I thought it was going to be a huge blowout, and then Dallas came back. They've been playing better. They've definitely been playing better. But they're still not, I don't know, they're still not all, they need a little more. Let's put it that way. So Paige Beckers, great game. She shot 50% from the floor. Not the blistering pace Kelsey Mitchell was, but she had 27 points. Very nice game for her. Arike had 15. Isaiah James had 14. Hines Allen had 9. Nalissa Smith had 7, and Leroux had 7. So Quinterly had 5 coming in for, relieving Beckers and James. They had that rotation going on with the guards. But this was a good game, and it was 20,000 people at the game, so big arena, big sellout. That's always nice to see. Turnovers, let's see, we had 13 for Indiana and 8 for Dallas. So that helped Dallas get back in the game. They didn't turn the ball over much. So, yeah, and Dallas actually took the lead in the third or early fourth quarter, but it probably just took so much out of them just to get even again after that 20-point early deficit. So that was that game. Congratulations, Indiana. Very nice game. The other thing was Indiana was playing fiercely especially in the first half. It lessened up, which is probably what allowed Dallas to get back in the game. But Indiana's defense in the first quarter especially was, I mainly cover the Valkyries, and the Valkyries usually play like that, but that's what I was seeing, is just fierce defense, relentless defense. And it was and speed. You noticed the whole game, there was a lot of speed. just flying down the court. So, good game, Indiana. And go on to the next one here. So next, Dallas took on the Mystics. And this was like a tale of two games. Because the day before they play Indiana, and Indiana goes out to this 20-point lead in the first quarter. And Dallas does the same thing to the Mystics in this game. So, pretty amazing. They went out 28-9. The Mystics couldn't hit anything, and they had Brittany Sykes back. And I'm going to look at her scoring, but she didn't seem like she was looking to score at all. And she's been their leading scorer up until she just took. She was out for a couple games, I think 2 games. But she'd been their leading scorer, and she wasn't even. It looked like she wasn't even looking to score. So I don't know what was happening there. Anyway, Washington then outscored them the second and third quarter, 22-17 and 25-19, and they made it a game. Just same thing like Dallas did against Indiana the day before, except the Mystics, in the same result. It's really hard to come up, like that is a 19-point deficit in the first quarter. You have to come out, you have to withstand and get that in 3 quarters. And they came up a little short. So the final score was 79-71. Dallas Wings get the win. Congratulations. And they did it without Paige. But good game, JJ Quinterly. She was terrific in this game. So Washington is now 8-9, and Dallas is 5-13. Dallas had 42 points in the paint versus Washington's 28. And when you have the height that Washington has, that's surprising. And that's probably why they lost the game. You have Shakira Austin, and you have Iria Finn, and you have Edwards, Stephanie Dolson. She mainly is like a pick setter, and she'll throw up a 3 occasionally. But she's not really down low. And Dallas had 22 turnovers, which that's bad. But Washington had 13, which is probably what allowed them to get back in this game. But great game for Quinterly. She was in for Paige Beckers, and she played really well. Really well. She played at West Virginia when I was playing back in the early 80s. We were the beginning of the NCAA when I was playing, and West Virginia was in the Atlantic 10 then. I don't even know. They've jumbled up the conferences so much you don't even know. Like, there's teams in the Big Ten that used to be in the Atlantic 10. I mean, we had Penn State, Rutgers, West Virginia, Temple. Those teams aren't there anymore. It was just a whole different world back then. But, yeah, it reminds me of West Virginia, playing against West Virginia. Because West Virginia had Georgiana Wells, who was 6'7". It was amazing to stand next to her. Just so tall. Just so tall. Anyway, so Quinterly had 15 points. James had 15 points. Hines Allen had 13 points. Enrique only had 14. They would have needed... Well, they got the win, so... Enrique was much bigger in the game before. She was 6 for 16, which is 37%. It's not great. She usually shoots better. Well, she's streaky, so she can be on and off. Charles had 6 points, and Alyssa Smith had 4. She had 7 rebounds. Leah Rue had 4 points and 6 rebounds. Hines Allen had 6 rebounds. James had 5. So the rebounds were spread out. They out-rebounded them, 41-26. So, and that's, again, the Mystics, I think, were on just, because they had won their last game over, I think it was Atlanta. Was it Atlanta? No, it wasn't Atlanta. I don't know. It was a big game. Big game they won. I think it was Minnesota. No, it wasn't Minnesota. Was it? I forget who it was. There's so many games. I'm blending them all together. Anyway, they upset a team to win their last game. It was, maybe it was, anyway, it doesn't matter. But they came off that. Sometimes you come off one of those games and you're just, there's a letdown after that. when you have to, because usually you're putting out extreme effort to get a win like that. Citron had 22 points. She was 3 for 8 from 3, perfect from the foul line, 6 for 15 from the floor. So, good game for her. She's been playing really well. Ira Finn had 8 points. She was 1 for 7. And most of her stuff is down low. So, and then Shakira Austin was 6 for 15. And a lot of her stuff is down low too. It kind of explains what happened here. So, Sutton had 12 points. Brittany Sykes only had 6 points. Yeah, they would have needed her to really go off in this game. Yeah, and a couple of other people had a basket or two. But pretty much that was the game. So, great game for Dallas. And just, this was a good game. Washington made a game of it, and I think they even had a lead. Yeah, they came all the way back and had the lead. Just a brief lead, but they fought back. But yeah, you just can't let those big, bad first quarters happen, because it'll kill you. So that was pretty much it. And 2 really nice games for Dallas. One they lost, one they won. So that's pretty much it. And we'll see you next time.